Music.Markito.
All right, so good morning, afternoon, or evening.
Wherever you are in the
Wherever you are
world,
in the world.
this is a professional.
Way to say.
And welcome to this first station talk,
Yeah,
episode
it's the
number
first
1.
one. Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
and welcome to my fantastic guest. We have Samuele and
Hello.
Silvia.
Are we
with
guests
us.
or are we part
Yes.
of the, are we features of the...
You can be whatever you want.
Okay,
right?
okay.
It's all good. So I guess we're going to start with this first podcast all together. We're going to be sharing this on YouTube and different platforms. But what we're going to do now is to move into the agenda. So we're going to
have
cover
the
different
agenda.
I
things.
feel at work right now.
But we're going to talk about that one as well.
Yeah, it's fine.
So the first part of today is going to be an intro. So we're going to talk about who we are, what we do, and so on. But the main thing that we're going to be covering during today's podcast is going to be how technology has changed the music industry from different point of views. The first one, it can be from the end user, so the person that is listening to the music, how the music has changed in the last, 20, 30, 40 years. But also we're going to be looking at from the other side. So as a music producer, as an engineer, and so on, how it has all changed. So the first part then is going to be the intro. Then we're going to move into music in our lives. So what music means to us and so on, all of us. And then we move into technology and the industry, responsible AI within the music industry. And then the last one is going to be how the music industry will be in the future, in the next 10, 20 years. How are you imagining it? So let's begin with Silvia.
Oh, you want an introduction?
Yes, please. Go
What do you
ahead.
want to know about me?
Whatever
Because
you
you're-
want.
Okay, so my name is Silvia. Okay, I'm I think we can just say that we're all Italians, right?
Yeah.
Italians in London.
I guess that was clear.
That was left by the accent, right? I live just behind the corner. Shall I say that? You cut that. You need to cut.
I mean, people don't know where we are recording from.
Yeah,
so,
actually, yeah, exactly.
That's all good.
Wherever we are in the world, right?
Yeah.
That's what we said. So, what do? I work in a software company. I've been working there for 5 years now. That's where I met you guys.
I was about to say, can we say we've all met in the
that
same
we
workplace?
should say that. So we met at work, different times,
different vibes as well?
different vibes, definitely different vibes. So yes, I've been moving across, I moved from a role to the other within the 5 years. I now work as an account manager in the public sector. That's what I do. So my role generally is to provide solutions and make sure that the customers get the most out of what they purchased, right?
Yeah. Can we say?
We can say it. Come on.
what
Otherwise,
company?
it doesn't.
No,
Because
don't say
it's like the common.
All right. So
thread
don't say
here.
the company.
No, I can say it.
No,
Come on.
I don't want to say
No,
that.
just don't.
But can we say
Hints.
what industry?
Software.
Oh, right.
I said it. I
Did
said
you
it
say-
earlier.
all right,
Yeah.
I wasn't listening then.
We can say. I mean, it's probably the only, apart of the Italian language, it's the only thing that we have in common.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we met at Microsoft 5 years ago.
Here we go. So now we
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I had to say.
She said it. Okay.
So yeah, I had to say, otherwise it doesn't really make sense, because I think it's the reason why we love what we do,
Yeah.
or we do what we do, right? What we started, and so it makes sense to say it as well.
100%.
It's part of our lives.
I mean, again,
We
today's
didn't-
podcast is not going to be about
No,
you
of
know,
course,
the industry
exactly.
or Microsoft
It's just to
in this case,
understand,
but, yeah.
you know, a part of the introduction. So yeah, what I do is making sure that my customers, once they purchase like some products, they get the most out of it and they know whatever they've got available. That's what I do.
That's perfect.
Customer service, kind of customer relationship.
Nice.
That's me.
Sam,
Nice. Hi.
hello.
Hello, everybody.
You look wonderful today.
Thank you. You too. Yeah. So I'm Samuele, but people call me Sam. It's short. And yeah. So what I do, I'm a music producer and sound engineer. So I'm making music and mixing. So that's what I do. I collaborated with an Italian artist during the pandemic. It was like just right before. And
Can we say it's a big one? We're not going to mention the
Yeah,
name, but it's a big one.
Yeah,
Pretty
so,
big.
It was something unexpected because it came out of blue.
Yeah.
So something very nice that I was part of. And then what I do is collaborating with Markito as well. So we work together. We produce and music together. So and then, as Silvia said earlier, so we work together so for a while. So and now, so that's what we are.
I guess you should mention as well, because you're gonna bring it up.
Let's say
what you studied.
Yes. So
that's a big part.
I mean, yes,
of course. Like I moved to London 10 years ago because I wanted to study sound engineering. So I studied sound engineering and then I also studied digital audio engineering, which was focusing on developing plugins. So this is something that I guess we're going also to talk about in this podcast tonight. So yeah, did a lot of stuff, developed plugins as well, just for fun, so nothing major, nothing released, like just for the assignment, just like create a compressor on EQ just for your assignment, just for fun.
Can we also say
what?
That we are also all working together on a track? That's another thing that we have in common.
Yes.
It's coming out sooner or later.
Yeah, at some point.
It's
one of those things
happening.
where we always open the project and there is something to change. But it's a work in progress.
That's the life of a music producer or artist or sound engineer, So always. Just you happy tonight and then tomorrow morning you'll be like.
But it's always like, let me do that little,
twist.
change. But then in the end, it's going to change the whole project.
Okay, let me just say this as well. I just came here to collaborate on this, and I don't know what's happening right now with
That's
this
all
track.
good. It's all good.
I actually don't know what's going on, but
okay,
I trust you guys.
Now that we opened this one, but then I'm going to introduce myself.
Of course, I was about to say like,
no,
hello, Marco.
Because we opened this one, and I love the fact that we are doing a podcast where we're just going to go with the flow, right?
Yeah.
There are some few points, but we didn't discuss.
It's like on Tinder. Let's go how it goes. Right? let's see how it goes. Sorry, I was about to say.
I mean, we know now that Silvia is on Tinder. Probably. That's good.
Not anymore, because I don't like the let's see how it goes kind of thing.
All right. I actually forgot what I wanted to say. So I guess
about the track.
Yeah, but I don't know
what you want to say. We are collaborating on this track.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
It's
okay, so let's talk about you,
let's talk
Marco.
about
You're the host. So
I am. So my name is Marco, aka Markito.
Hello.
So I've been producing music since 2010, probably around 2010. I fell in love with music when I was probably around 10 years old, I guess. But I remember as a kid, I always played around the house with CDs and little cassettes around the house, listening to music. My father used to have a little mixer at home, and I used to love playing with the mixer on Sundays, and trying to blend two different musics together or songs together. That was beautiful. But then I listened for the first time for the first time, I remember I listened to David Guetta in 2014, and that's when I discovered EDM and house music.
What's the first song that you heard?
There was actually...
Because it was big, like in 2014.
Big. It was something around, if I'm not wrong, the first one, it was Where Is Love? It was something about Where Is Love, I think it was the title. It was just right before... Memories and sexy beach and so on, right? So I remember he played a little concert in London, funny enough, in 2014, I think, and I kept watching the live event for so many months, one after the other one. I said to myself, this is what I want to do. That's when I discovered music, and that changed my life in bed, I guess. And then since then, around 7 years ago, I moved to the UK. I'm also from Italy. I had to stop producing music because of, we all know London. If you don't know, London is expensive, so you need to pay your bills.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, me neither.
And music doesn't pay your bills most of the time. So that's when I had to move into something completely different, including tech companies, which I love, to be honest. I still work in that kind of sector, but for another organization, not anymore Microsoft. And then during COVID, I said to myself, this is the right moment to actually bring the music back. That's when I started to produce music again. I started to do my session mix. If you've never seen it before, it's on YouTube.
It's going to be written down here.
No. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure I'll do it. But the camera is there. It's
but I'm seeing saying, it's here.
Yeah, exactly. But that's about me. Now, I covered about music in my life, I guess. But Silvia.
Oh, music in my life. Okay, what can I say?
What's the first memory you got about music?
Like, the first memory that I've got is my trips to the south of Italy, 8 hours long. My dad wouldn't even stop to go to the toilet because he was rushing to get to the beach. And we would sing absolutely anything. Obviously, cassettes first and then CDs, depending on the car. And then when we didn't have anything anymore, we were starting just singing. So my mom has a good voice. My dad has a good voice. My brother has a good voice. But it was really.
I guess he's on the DNA.
I think it's in the DNA. And apparently my granddad was playing I don't know how it's called, the fisarmonica in Italian. I don't know how it's called in English. It's that very traditional instrument where you pump air and you use it. Yeah. So. They've got it in the Balkans,
the one
I
that
guess.
has that little keys around.
Yeah, the keys around, and you just So my other people were playing the violin, and even if they were very poor families, very poor backgrounds, they used to play instruments or sing, or it was just a way to stay together, right? Music brings people together. Yep. So it was always very important for me. And then my mom still goes to karaoke on a Friday, after all this time, she goes with friends to the karaoke place. She's good. And my dad loves it when he wants to go. When he wants to stay with friends, they just play music and karaoke, and obviously wine helps at a certain time of the evening, with the to warm up.
It's for the voice.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So it's just part of my life. Very important, for workouts. Remember doing workouts when I was fighting. I used to fight the karate. We used to fight the rhythm of music. So very important. And during some very, very difficult moment of my life, it was always there. When my parents were, fighting, I was just putting the music on. I don't hear to anything else. I'm just listening to music. So,
nice.
I think very important for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sam.
Well, I guess for me, everything started. You remember, when in school, middle school or primary school, you have to play the flute or the xylophone.
Not the one, the professional one.
Yes,
the plastic one.
I don't know how to say it.
Can we say it's usually, at least in Italy, I don't know how it's here, but it's usually it's the moment of the day where the teacher is telling you to play the instrument, and what you do is just to literally put all the air inside, and at some point the saliva starts going everywhere.
It's making this sound.
Exactly. All right.
So I guess that's where everything started and clicked for me. So
from the
flute and xylophone.
Okay.
So that was because I started with the flute and then the xylophone, and I started to get into the loop. And my dad,
big jump.
Yeah. What a big upgrade.
Yeah.
And my dad played guitar and piano, and we have pictures together that I was 2 years old with him at the piano and with him with the guitar. So I guess that's where my passion for music comes from my dad.
Nice.
I was always in that environment, my dad playing in the house, and so that's where everything started. And then I started to play guitar about 13 years old. I'm self-taught guitar with some of old manuals from 1984 that my dad had in a drawer.
You know that there is YouTube now.
Yeah, now yes, but that was the early 2000, so that was the only material that I had back in 2002 or 2003. So that was my dad's guitar in the corner, and he had few books in a drawer. And that's where I started to play music. And since then, I played music with my friends. We had a band down there. So and then I moved to London to study sound engineering because I wanted to jump into another area of music rather than composing or playing. Starting to explore this world of mixing, mastering, sound engineering, live events. And that's when I moved to London to study and start to get in touch with the industry. So, yeah.
Can you also say that one of your track is actually on Amazon like you've made, if I'm not wrong, a track for a movie?
Well, the thing
or
is
that... you worked on a track for a movie
so
or something like that?
The original track was a featuring with this Italian artist, this like big Italian artist, and another singer. And then what happened was that song was sampled to be a soundtrack for a movie. So that's what happened there. So yeah, it's on Amazon Prime Video. I don't know if we can make names of companies.
Let's avoid that. I mean, Amazon, everyone is using it. So we're not saying anything negative about it.
No. So. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. We love you guys.
If you're thinking about to sue us, just let us know. We don't have that money. Trust us.
No, please.
Just let us know in advance.
Just let us do what we do, please.
But yeah, so
all right.
That's
now
kind of.
You've mentioned actually something super important that's going to bring us to the next part of today's podcast, which is going to be about you learned how to play the guitar by yourself.
Yep.
But the way was completely different, right? You had to use your manual and spend time on it and so on. So I guess that was really time consuming. But in a way, many people says it was actually the right way on how to learn stuff, right?
That's the argument.
We're going to talk about this one now, which is how technology has changed the music industry. Because now the change, I don't think it's only from a producer point of view, but it's also the person that either wants to start the music journey as a producer, as a guitarist, whatever that will be, right? Music in general. But also from the listener point of view, the music has changed a lot, right?
Yeah.
If we see... I don't know, we can say Spotify. If you open Spotify right now, how many artists are there? Where 30 years ago, you had to go, I guess, right? You had to go to music labels and literally hand them your CDs and vinyls and so on and demos, right? So I guess it's completely different. If you open now on Fridays your Spotify, it's always new release. Friday's release day for music producers. And this every single week, right? If you think about artists in the 80s, 90s, they used to make, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 songs in a year. Now you do probably 3 in a month. Okay. Yeah. How do you think has this changed from your point of view? I will go with Sam first. Like in terms of both sides. I was a music producer, so someone who has learned how to produce music and so on, but also from someone who is listening to a lot of music every single day. Compare, now to 20 years ago.
All right. There are a few things about learning when it comes to like being a music producer or a guitarist that when I started it, there was no internet was just happening. So now I'm not a dinosaur. But so it was like it was like 1997 or 1998 when Google started to be a thing. So online, I don't think you could find the same resources that you can find it today.
No. And at that time, internet was super expensive. It was literally a thing for just a few people.
You had to like keep the line, the telephone line busy. I remember my dad shouting at me
the long cable from a room to the other as well.
And so I think that was the one of the I don't want to say barrier, but when I tried to learn guitar 3 times in a year because I was so frustrated because I couldn't understand how to read the manuals. And even if you had few instructions there, I was still like 13 years old. So I had no like video guidance, or I could not drop a message to anybody asking like, hey, I can't understand this. How do you do? So of course I had my dad, but of course he was busy with work and stuff like that. So I had to figure out things by myself. And I tried 3 times to learn the guitar. At the 3rd attempt, it happened. I don't know how, but it happened. But that's one thing. And today, if you just go online, you can find so many resources from videos on YouTube, from blogs, from social medias, from people creating content on social media. Or there are so many apps today that can teach you how to learn to play guitar, piano. So you just download it. You can also use the free version of it, and you still have access to some knowledge and information. And this is like completely, if today you would like to start to learn an instrument, you can just go on the App Store, on your phone, on your Google Market. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Google Play.
Google Play. So you just download it and start to learn, or you can start to watch some videos. So that's from like a learning, if you like to learn an instrument. In terms of music production and engineering, there are like so many factors about that. So like even 20 years ago, the main way to listen music was a radio. So either in your car or at home or at the barber shop or in the supermarket. So you just like, oh, I like this song. And then try to find that artist name was some sort of...
you didn't have Shazam, right?
No, you did not. So,
and you didn't have even those search engines that you that you're singing without lyrics. And like how
I think it's now Google doing it. That you can sing on Google and it's going to recognize.
So it's the actual, you didn't have any tool at all.
Yeah. So it was quite hard. So you will have to either listen to the DJ on the radio saying the name of the artist before launching the song. So and today, of course, like you can just pop into any music store and ask the person working there, like, hey, I heard this song doing la 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 la. Yeah. So what's that name? And they may know that and show you like where you can get the vinyl or the CD or the cassette. So there was more interaction, and you couldn't, not interaction, but I guess
there was more hype in a way, right? It was creating a lot of hype.
There was more hype, and also that was created also because you couldn't get that things immediately like we do today.
Exactly.
Today you just jump on Shazam, on Google or whatever, just click, you can have access instantly, immediately. So maybe you heard the song now at 6 p.m. while you're going back home, and you have to wait maybe 1 day or 2 days to go to the music store. Or go to the music store and talk to that person or to other people and say like, hey, I heard this song. What's that?
But that's also the reason why musicians had to adapt as well, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so available that people get bored very easily because it's so accessible. Before it's like, okay, I'm just launching like 3 times a year because by the time everyone's going to get
access
to the store and access to it, now you need to have it like straight away. Okay, done. It's launched on Friday. What's next Friday? I'm waiting for the next track, right?
But also, like, if I ask you, what was your favorite track in 2022? You probably don't remember,
I don't know.
Right?
I have
because there are
no
too many.
clue.
Yeah, there are too many.
Too many.
And, if I ask my mum, what was your favorite track, I don't know, in 1970s, she would be like, oh, this one. Boom. She will sing it to me. Because there was...
Because there were 3 in total.
There were 3 and was so meaningful to it, right?
Yeah.
Now, for us, I think it's completely different. And we get bored straight away. The same is with social media and upcoming artists. Yeah. You see them, they go up in 1 week, but they go down after literally 2 days. So being there, it's difficult. Yeah. It's difficult. But
so this is like just my humble opinion then. You as a music producer as well that release music, so what do you see?
I guess it's kind of a gray area, I will say, between music producers. There are people who don't like the idea of AI and technology being there because it's scary. Now, one thing that is happening is, in one way, is giving access to so many people. They couldn't do it before, right? I'm the first one. I didn't have the space to have, 4 synths into one room or I don't know, like a drums machine and this kind of stuff, right? It would have taken too much space and too much money. Where now I buy a MacBook or any device, I buy the plugin and literally with £100, I've got a set of synths that I can use and manage the way I want. So I guess one thing that's happening now is everyone can do it. which is beautiful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm wondering if this is bringing anyone to do it in terms of, is the standard going up or is it going down? Is it giving access to everyone? So how many people are actually making music just for the sake of being famous? Just because they believe they can make a lot of money out of it? Mm-hmm. I guess that's a lot. Yeah. Where 20 years ago, the person who was making music is because this person had a purpose. It was making music.
And to fight with everybody for time in the studio, to get the money, to get into the studio. So,
there's so many people involved where now you have an artist. Like when I produce my songs, I need to write the song. So in terms of melody. And then in this case, I have Sam, who is helping me a lot with mixing and mastering.
But otherwise also, you would have to do it by yourself.
Exactly. And then I have to send it to record labels, do the marketing behind it, use all the different, available tools out there. So YouTube, pre-saves stuff and little groups and so on. So it gets really difficult to get the audience there because people are tired of listening to music that sounds all the same. Let me say this. This is one thing that's happening right now. And I guess we're going to now talk about the next part, which is going to be about AI within music industry. Now, if you think about music 30 years ago, I think it was pretty much all the same, right? Let's be honest. It was all about, at least in Italy, it was really about, the man that was trying to fight and get the woman back. And all these kind of, instruments that were pretty much the same and so on, more or less. But then technology came in with, things like loops and machines and synth and this kind of stuff. So that's when things changed. Things like, now most of the people, singers are singing with autotune. That's going to help, but it's also going to create a different sound behind it, right? So I guess that gave access to people to experience new music, right? Completely different. Now, do you think, Silvia, that AI is going to bring the same kind of thing to people in the future in terms of music? Something completely different, completely new?
I think that the problem is actually the freedom that we're talking about. Like, the freedom is scary. But it's scary, it's always been, right? Like, from the moment that, if we think about the 60s, the 70s, in general, historically, what's happening. Sorry, I keep moving this. I make it real, okay?
I'm just trying to move your microphone a little bit closer.
Yeah, no, but you can hear me, right? It's just a matter of freedom. From the moment that you are that you're giving freedom, that it's becoming scary. It's amazing because women start to vote, and and everyone, depending on religion, race, color of the skin, etc. It's just scary though because it's different. It's something different. So I think in general at the moment, since we're talking about AI, the problem is the like who is taking the responsibility. It's the same thing that you were saying before about everyone can do music, right? So who is setting the standards? Like who is saying what is wrong, what is right? As if it's free.
I guess people say. One thing that always people say is there is no right or wrong. It's more what people feel is right.
Fantastic,
right?
But there needs to be, otherwise it's an anarchy, right?
Exactly.
This is valid for
and I guess, that's the great
about.
area that we have right now. I guess we could stay and talk about this for hours, where we all want to be free, but
we don't accept other people's freedom.
There must be a line, right?
Yeah, there must be.
I guess we see this in so many things that are more important than music, like religion and, gender equality and things like that. But it gets really difficult to draw that line because sometimes people believe that freedom means I can do whatever I want. But for me at least this is for me, you can have your freedom as long as it's not going to impact my freedom.
Yeah, but who's deciding that? Because we're all different,
the other
right?
Person. Yeah, exactly.
But how many persons?
It gets really difficult.
It's very difficult. So in terms of artificial intelligence, at least in technologies, and I guess it influences all the other, areas. And I think the issue now is who is taking the responsibility. So now the responsibilities is pretty much on the organizations that are offering the artificial intelligence service, right? It could be Microsoft, Amazon, I don't know, a lot of artificial intelligence, any tech company, right? Whoever is offering the service of artificial intelligence directly or indirectly. as far as I know, there are some companies that are coming up with a kind of code of conduct, where they are taking the responsibility on behalf of the customer when they manage to prove, okay, this is creating an issue, this is a risk for this is a high impact in my business. But apart from that, all the other cases, they can be interpreted in so many different ways. So responsibility for AI is just ours. And the other thing that we need to think about regarding freedom is that people are scared to use it because they think there is this how do you say it? I don't find a word. This thought, this belief that it's going to replace us. The same thing that we had with robots in the 2000s when we started to see Will Smith's the film I Am Robot. How is it called? I don't remember. Something like that. There's two problems here. One is the responsibilities of the companies. So now the companies need to take the responsibilities for what they obviously or offer as a service. But the problem is that because it's artificial intelligence, there is a limit to what you can control as a company, because when it's in your hands, and because of a privacy reason, I can't really manage what you're doing, right? The other problem is that people don't know what they're doing. So everyone is saying artificial intelligence cool because it's answering to my questions and it's doing tests for me, or is telling me what if a person has an illness and where it's coming from, whatever. But they really don't understand it. So, they're scared. People are scared and they don't know what. Then you can't find a lot of info. You find a lot of BS and a lot of people waffling about it, and everyone has an idea, but it's endless. It's endless.
Most of the time people have an idea, but they never used it before. That's one thing that I see, because I work with AI pretty much every single day. And most of the time people have an idea about AI, but they don't even know what that is. They've seen it and they relate AI to machines taking over. One thing that I keep saying, this is funny though, I guess, if you write a prompt on any platform, just add please in the end. So in case AI is gonna take control of humans, they might gonna help you in the end. Be polite.
It was kind to me, so I'm going to help me.
But that's a great point. One thing that I want to mention that is gonna be, and Sam, I guess that's for you. It's about responsible AI. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And once again, we are just talking about it. This is our ideas. Doesn't mean that people have to agree with us or vice versa, right?
No.
So if you have anything, comments, anything that you feel like is not right or so on, just let us know in the comments.
I think though that, sorry to say that, it's quite objectively, I think people are there is a common fear in the background,
of
right?
course,
Then there's the person who's more progressive, is oh, it's amazing, there's nothing wrong with that because you can control it. And the other one was probably my dad, who's well, they're taking over aliens.
I really hope your dad is not watching this.
No,
this
it's not.
it
doesn't speak English anyway.
All right, so it's all good.
But I think there is an objective fear and idea of what AI is, and then obviously people can think what they want.
But in terms of AI, one thing that I want to mention that, and this is going to be for Sam, is going to be about copyright with AI, because I guess that's a big part, right?
Yeah.
So right now I've seen so many people using artist voice in order to create loops, and you can actually use it. Which is, just to give an example, if I'm going to write something down and my voice is not great, of course, then I'm going to put it in this system, it's going to sing that for me with, I don't know, Dua Lipa's voice, right? Mm-hmm. Then what I can do is just simply to use it. I cannot add Dua Lipa's name, of course, on my track, but I can say this is a song that I've created, that's it. Which, I don't know, it's a bit... What do you think about it? I've got a strong idea about it, to be honest.
That is the subjective side of it.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think about it?
Well, so first of all, I wanted to say about AI, because I wanted to kind of continue what Silvia said about being responsible with AI. Because AI, it's a tool. It's not God on earth. It's just a tool like a computer or this microphone or the mixer that we're just using right now. So it's just a tool that can support us in doing a tailored task.
But people will say the microphone cannot take decisions for me.
Now that's the thing that I want to say about it. Like now that's true. Like a microphone doesn't take a decision for my life. But the thing is that every day we turn on TVs, we read the news, and we can hear different opinions. Even from this podcast, you can make an opinion about something. So as human beings, we are we can be influenced by what we hear and see and read. So AI is going to be another tool, like a book, a newspaper, or a TV show or a talk show, whatever it is.
And this is what we're trying to let the customers understand, like when we go out and we talk about it, there are these kind of questions, right? The decision at the end, it's yours. Like, it's just a tool.
The AI doesn't have a knife or a gun pointed at you, like, do this.
Not yet. Yeah. Not yet.
No, come on, that's not how it's going to be. It's not going to be like he's going to be like a rogue AI.
But it can be scary, right?
But we have to understand that it is not scary. I'm not scared about AI.
If you know how to use it and you secure it, and
that's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's
for
again,
everything.
like,
now,
look, it's the same thing about like cars or a scooter. So they sell cars.
Yeah.
You can buy a car.
Yeah.
You need to have a driving license.
Exactly.
You need to train about how to use a car.
But is it a must right now to train on AI on how to use it?
Well,
as end user, not yet.
If you want to drive, you need to get a driving
but
license.
I mean, right now I can use the AI, and I don't have to do any course or anything.
That would be the electric scooter of.
But so it's like, every time that you use a service or something, you got terms and conditions that you have to use that service.
Do you read the terms and conditions?
Of what? The scooter?
No, in general.
The scooter.
When you have that little pop-up on your screen, do you read them?
Of course. I do, because like...
You do, I know
it
that.
depends.
You know that I do.
I do.
Yeah.
It depends.
Well, so just to give you like the first page is kind of giving you the guideline, a summary of what you're going to find in details in there. But there is going to tell you how to use the service and how not to use the service. I'm going to give you another example. I do play video games and I do play online. And there is a particular game that when you download the game for the first time, it's telling you like how you should behave on the game, because there are other people. There is a community. You have to respect the community. So if you're going to do something that is against our terms and conditions and our guidelines, you're banned from the game. So
that makes sense, though. Yeah.
So you have to be responsible. Like it's not that, okay, I'm going to take a car and then drive and do whatever I want with the car. There are rules that we have to follow if we want to drive a car.
Yeah.
Same things with AI. So AI is not taking decision for us. We are still in control. And, and now I'm going to go to music as well, because I use a lot of plugins with AI. There are like plugins with AI built in. But if you're going to start to use it and then you try to ask to do a mix for you, today it's still a mess.
No.
But what if in 5 years, probably even 3 or 2, because it's happening so quick, you are able to do what you cannot do now?
I mean, right now there are already like mixing and mastering service online on the web that you can upload your track and do it for you.
But would you use it at that point? Would you for a double check at the very end?
Yes, of course. That's what I will do. Like sometimes I use like some EQ that has AI. And, so just to start to give me like a basic, like right now, there are some plugins with presets. Mm-hmm. So using AI is not less than using a preset on that, but it's a bit more smart than a preset. And then you'll be like, "Ooh, I don't like the way you made this mix, but I can take it from here. Thank you."
I guess again, that's more like a mindset, right? Some people believe the AI is gonna do the job for you, but if you use it as a tool to push yourself to do more and to do better, then I guess that will be the goal, right?
But still, like, if you want to do a good quality mixing or mastering or music production, you still need to know the basic of the job or on how to mixing, because at that point that's physics of sound. So you need to understand and know how the frequencies interact to each other, how to make space in your mix. Yes, it's true, AI can do it for you, but then you don't understand that the AI missed something because it's not smart enough to detect that.
Because again, AI was going to use is a set of rules, right? In a way. So it's been told how to use one specific frequency and it's going to do that thing for you. Where one thing that, for example, I do in my music production, it's always when I work on my piano roll, that's the place where you put all the different notes, right? Because I don't play any instruments, even though I used to play guitar pretty well when I was younger, but I forgot how to do it, to be honest. What I usually do is I put all the notes there, but I make some little mistakes by mistake. That's what's going to make the sound real. That's what's going to make the sound human,
exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So I guess what's happening with AI in the music industry is, yes, you can use it. That's my opinion, though. You can use it as a starting point. You can use it as something that's going to help you to
100%.
have the idea, spark the idea, anything like that. But then you need to make that mistake as a human in order to make that song relatable. You're going to feel like someone had something to say, right?
Organic.
Exactly.
That's what we need. And, going back to your questions, because I just wanted to connect to what Silvia said, because, so yes, we have to be someone has to be accountable for these AI tools, but at the same time, it's you that you use it at the end. But when it comes to copyright, this is something that I guess is, again, another gray area, because AI is something new, so everyone is starting to understand how to act. But using someone else's voice without their permission, it's wrong.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
You shouldn't, because AI can do something. That doesn't mean that you should start to use it for your own production.
It's not fair, right?
No, it's like stealing.
It's stealing
100%.
Yeah, you're stealing someone.
But
voice.
right now there is nothing stopping someone doing it.
Well, but that's like the gray area there. So because
sorry, just to understand. So if you've got a new track, right, and you manage to get Becky Hill voice, okay,
I can use it on my track,
and no one is telling you anything.
No. Yeah, produce it with AI. So in that case, the responsibility right now
but she
is
can
not
sue
on
you.
me.
She could sue you, or she can't.
I think she can sue AI, the company that I've used to create.
How is she gonna know?
Yeah, but for example,
publishing it.
You're making money out of
her
voice.
out of her voice. So that's probably. I don't think you are totally immune by it.
I mean, I hope not. I'm not using it.
Because if I use it at home,
because there are if, for example, artists are making deals of selling their voice, I'm gonna sample it and then people can use it.
It's what you have right now with Splice, right?
Yes.
But you got your credits and you can use all the sounds that you got there. It's free of copyrights because you are paying already with your subscriptions. So in a way, the artist it's making profit out of the downloads. Yeah, of course, because the artist worked, right, to get that voice. I mean, sometimes it's just, I guess, a gift, but you still have to work for it, right?
Yeah. So, and if I decide to sell my voice for, I don't know, £1 million a year, then
I will buy. I will buy.
I will make a deal with companies that do that service. We can find an agreement. Let's sign how much I can earn from that. And again, so you see what AI does. Like any new technology, it creates new business.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to kind of open a little parenthesis about what happened with the introduction of the iPhone, the first iPhone. So a new business started, a new era started with the app developers.
Yeah.
So a new horizon opened up because the iPhone introduced this concept of making your own app and selling it. So, and everyone started this, and now look at how many companies are making apps for all sort of platforms.
I mean, people can do apps by themselves without being able to.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not the microphone. It's this.
No, I'm saying you
This
need,
is
you need to get
closer to the
Like
mic.
that?
No,
Yeah.
it felt like you were talking from a different room.
But because I'm chilled.
I can see that.
I think we have to wrap up because it's 4:02.
We are almost there. We don't say the time. We don't say what day is today.
I say
We don't
4:02.
know.
I say
Right.
4:02.
I guess,
Nothing else.
I mean, I guess that brings us probably to recording another one in the future.
I think this is just like pilot, so
Yeah.
just to give you an idea.
Let's see how it goes.
Let's see how
Yeah.
it goes. Let's see how it goes. Let us know. What do you think about today's podcast in the comments?
And let us know what
Let us know.
should we discuss
Yeah.
about next
Topic.
time.
Next time.
Yeah, like,
We really want to cover anything and everything.
or share any.
Anything, there's a limit,
Yeah,
as we said earlier.
I mean, we can consider
We're all
different
free,
things.
exactly. Yeah.
We can
Also
consider.
share articles on the comments or links to
Yeah,
some
what's
sort
your idea?
of...
But once again, terms and conditions, be nice to each other. Because,
No,
we don't care if you agree or not, but just be polite.
Please,
Yeah, really simple.
please.
and so
All right. I guess, that brings us to the end of the first.
Yeah, it was a cool.
It was right.
It's-
I mean,
yeah,
I think it's-
can we say we started with, hey, we don't have an agenda. Let's just go with how we
Yeah.
feel. And are we
We
sure
don't
we're
say
going to
how
cover
we
more?
started it. We don't say how we started it.
there
we
was-
kind of had the agenda there, but
Yeah.
so
Yeah, there
we
was
just use
from-
it 2-3 points from there, and then we
exactly.
just like open it up. So,
Exactly.
but yeah,
So I want to wrap up with saying thank you to my lovely guests, Silvia and Sam, for being with me today.
Thank you, Marco, for
Thank
having
you.
us.
And I hope you have enjoyed watching this new podcast. I will see you soon, but until then, may the music be with you. Ciao.
This is, I mean, it reminds me of your jokes at the end of our
Yeah.
sessions.
Yeah, let's close it like this.
Let's close
Ciao,
it there.
everyone.
Ciao, with
Ciao.
the dab.